brave men and women who have sacrificed so much for our freedom with the playing of our national anthem.
Hi, everybody. Welcome as we get set for basketball on a Saturday afternoon. Robert Williamson and Kyle Sandy ready to bring you the coverage. It is a GACA All-Star event. We have already seen the ladies take to the hardwood, the junior ladies, the senior ladies. Now, the junior guys and the senior guys will follow. Kyle, All-Star event's an All-Star event. You see some of the best talent in the state of Georgia, but we are anticipating stuff for a highlight reel in this one.
Yes, we are. There's going to be some breathtaking plays. We've got some phenomenal athletes out there, but more importantly, phenomenal basketball players. I mean, Dwan Odom, state champion, committed to Xavier. Jordan Mecca jumping center now. He's got some big-time interest and offers from SEC schools. He's jumping against Jaquez Kirby from Hazelhurst, Georgia, over there at Jeff Davis. So we got two jumping jacks right here. So there's going to be plenty of offensive firepower, a lot of fireworks. Very interested to see if there will be defense played in this one. I hope there will be.
Typically, these guys are playing about 16 minutes of basketball per half. They're going to play 20 minutes per half and, in essence, get a full additional quarter throughout the course of the game because of those additional 4 minutes in each half. So if they put up numbers during the regular season, I can imagine what they're going to do today. And the first thing we get is a three-try from Pelot.
Yeah, it was Kirby with the miss and then Bernard Pelot with the rebound. So two number ones there, both from Region 2. Woodville Tompkins was undefeated the entire season until they fell to Elbert County in a shocker in the Elite Eight. But two teams, two players that really know each other very well.
Well, you've already seen why I never play the lottery. We've got guys that are wearing the same numbers, and today had a 50-50 chance of getting the name right and went with the wrong name. So
don't you worry. That's why I'm here, Robert. You know that. I got you.
Tipped over towards the sidelines, retrieved there by Mann. Gets it out front. Zarian Griffin, who had it briefly, thrashed in a little turnaround. There is a rejection. And I guess maybe the fair assumption, or maybe not the fair assumption, but this is the junior all-star game, so if this is going to have highlight clips, man, what are we going to see in the senior one?
Yeah, senior one will be very solid, very steady, but if we're being honest, I think this junior game might have a little bit more star power with the guy with the ball right here, Dwan Odom. He is a mixtape walking. You see it right there, his explosion to get to the basket. He's gotten better and better each year as not only a great athlete but a great point guard, really passes the ball well and helped St. Francis win their first state championship in a couple years.
How many of these guys already committed to play at the next level?
Oh, we got, let's see, 3-ball right there from Jermaine Mann. But we got Dwan Odom with the ball right here. I mentioned he's going to Xavier. Looking out there right now, he is the only one who has committed, but Jordan Mecca is going to be a a Division I player, as is this guy right here, man. So it's still early in the process for a couple of these guys. But, yeah, no doubt there's going to be a slew of these guys going to be playing Division I and definitely Division II.
And everybody on the floor likely plays at a 4-year institution, or at least plays at the collegiate level, maybe going the junior college route first and then on to a 4-year.
Yeah, a lot of talent to choose from, and I'm sure we got coaches in attendance and tuning in to see who we can pluck away and start recruiting and try and start building those important relationships to get them to join your program. No shortage of options here. So many great players on the floor right now. You see JockJive Kirby did not make the state tournament this year at Jeff Davis, played with a bunch of freshmen, but he's a guy that averaged about 24 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, a real gem and, quote-unquote, the middle of nowhere. Hazelhurst is really off the beaten path, but JockJive Kirby is a high major talent, a big-time player. He plays with the Upward Stars over the summer, and if he continues to polish his game, he can really do everything out there.
Taking a look at the two teams, here are the gentlemen who are on the floor or will be for the South squad. Jordan Mays, Christian Chambers, Chris Youngblood, Jermaine Mann, Zarian Griffin. Also, you've got Bernard Pelote, JockJive Kirby, Darius Hayes, Kershaw Thrash, Jaden Dunham.
And you can see Coach Price on the baseline there. He's always coaching up. He did that a lot with Upson Lee. Daryl Lockhart, the head man. But Coach Price parking out those orders defensively. And you see Bernard Pelote with another bucket, off to a great start.
And a timeout is asked for. It's a 30-second break. Let's take it to, you're watching GACA Junior All-Stars. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Grow. 13-5 advantage. Well, a good time here as we've got an early timeout to thanks to the folks that do make this coverage possible, including the Georgia Army National Guard and a whole litany of sponsors. Atlanta Falcons, Sports Turf, National Preps, Greenville Turf and Tractor, Wilson, Jostens Athletic Field Supply, Coke Crossover, and the GACA.
It was Zarian Griffin from Statesboro getting to the basket in an interesting matchup when you're looking at it on the coaching staffs. You got Aaron Parr coaching this North group, and of course you got Daryl Lockhart coaching the South group. And that is two guys that know each other very well. They did not meet in the state championship this year, but the past 2 seasons, Upson Lee was able to topple St. Pius in the state championship. So Coach Parr, this isn't the state championship he wants, but if he can get a win over Coach Lockhart, he'll feel a little bit better because it's something he hasn't really been able to do when they meet up with Upson Lee.
You know, we talked about that during earlier broadcast of the rivalry amongst coaches, so this is one of those that would fit that bill.
Yeah, and if it's a rivalry, it's a very healthy rivalry. So much respect between St. Pius and Upson Lee. They had some epic battles in the state championships over there at the McCamish Pavilion at Georgia Tech. But this year we saw Carver Columbus take down America Sumter in a great game.
Put back is good. That is Smith. But you can already tell that Odom is always around the ball.
Yeah, he's a bundle of energy, a great player. You see him getting after it right here defensively. He's really good. He's really good. Xavier's getting a really good one.
From the top of the key, that is Pelote with the miss. Now, is that Pelote or Pelote?
Pelote, yes. And he had a really good year at Woodville Tompkins. He'll be asked to score the ball more now. Preston Crisp, who we will be seeing in the nightcap, I believe. He was their go-to scorer. And Bernard did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, more of a rebounder and give you maybe 10, 12 points a game. But he's going to be pressed and asked to score the ball a little bit more his senior season. But you can see why there's a lot of colleges interested in him. 6'6", can step outside, can knock down the three-point shot. But more importantly, he defends around the rim and he can rebound.
By the way, for a first-time viewer, these squad members are wearing the jerseys which they don during the course of the regular season. So that's why in some instances we got a couple of 23s and a couple of goose eggs. I think in the game prior there were 3 21s on the floor. And in some instances simultaneously. So that's another one of those rarities you won't see elsewhere, but you'll see it in an all-star event.
And we saw Rashawn Frederick knock down that jump shot, the southpaw. I saw him this summer, and I, never really heard too much about him. I saw Farrell. They won the state championship this year, but last year, watched them play. They really got punked when they got beat by Glen Hills, who was just bigger and stronger and faster, and that Farrell team was really young. But I saw him in the summer at one of our showcase events, and he was really intriguing, and I thought he had a chance to become an all-state type talent, and that's exactly what he did. I believe he was a first-team all-stater this year. Really just improved. He's attacks, as we talk about attacking the glass right there, I think that was Youngblood with the tip-in, but Rashawn Frederick, he can get to the basket as you see him right here. A guy that is playing his way onto Division I radars, I think. He's a very talented player, and he really blossomed his junior season.
Neville with his miss on the 3, but able to get it back as the North. A 16-9 South lead. Where the ladies are concerned, it was a split. South won the junior, North the senior girls. The one thing we did learn from the 2 prior games was a lead, even a big lead, doesn't mean a whole lot, especially at this juncture in the game.
Yeah, so much offensive talent on both sides. It can evaporate a lead very quickly.
Does anybody ever hurt their stock in an all-star game?
Most people would probably say no, but I'm of the mindset usually you're either up a little bit or down a little bit. Sometimes you can stay the same, but if you come out and you don't play that well, it's probably not going to affect your stock as far as recruiting goes. But in my mind, I want to see players play well, and if someone does have a little bit of an off night, me personally, I might just wish a little bit more from them. But in the grand scheme of things, all-star games don't mean a whole lot. It's what matters during the high school season, during the travel season as well, and real games. This is just to get out there and run and gun and see who the alpha male is. So not a huge deal, but I would like to see players play well.
Chris Youngblood makes it a 17-9 game, 1 of 2 from the stripe. Well, the intent was to jam, but Chris Youngblood couldn't do it. Points awarded nonetheless, as the South will add to the lead and go to double digits on the bucket, I believe. Yep, and the and one coming up.
Yeah, Youngblood able to get those points. Not the sexy points, but a layup is just as good as a dunk. Saw Carl Cleveland with the rebound. They got eliminated in the first round of the Class 2A state playoffs by Callaway, but it wasn't his fault. He had 55 points in the loss. Averaged 28 points per game this year.
55, that is a yeoman's task, and that's in 32 minutes of basketball?
Yes, indeed. Actually, they went to overtime in that one, so, I mean, not too much more than 32 minutes, but he can flat out fill it up.
I've been doing sports for a very long time, but I just can't think of that many people I've seen in person score 50-plus.
And it's crazy, and we talked about it in the girls' broadcast. I saw Kayla McPherson score 64 points in the game, 64 points in the game, and it was not playing Joe Schmo. They ended up beating Hart County in that one. Hart County lost by a couple points in the state championship, so they did it against a really good team, and Kayla McPherson was phenomenal.
Wow, 64. What was the total for her team?
Oh, gosh, they won like 93 to probably 70 or so. So she almost outscored an entire state runner-up. That's how phenomenal she was. She was just out of this world.
22.
Only a sophomore, too. Crazy.
22-11 contest, 12:35 to play, half number 1. Junior boys and the senior boys will follow.
Got a couple prolific scores. We mentioned Carl Cleveland averaged 28 points per game, but over there, number 0 in red for Rome, Caleb Bird, he averaged probably about 25 points or so. So that's a guy that had multiple games of 40-plus this season.
The Mays miss going the other way. Caleb Bird with it. Sends it over to right into the paint. Got the front of the rim. Rebounded by Mays. Chambers resetting the offense. Goes to near the mid part of the floor. It is dumped down low to Youngblood. Turns around, shoots, drops it in. The long two.
South has gotten off to a lot of quick starts in all these games, taking early leads. Still a lot of time left, but we'll see if they can lead wire to wire.
That is right with a miss. Rebound belongs to Frederick. Over to the opposite side of the floor, Neville. And Neville will walk with it. Brunswick High School, Brunswick, Georgia, this all-star event, quadruple header. Nice crowd has been on hand for each and every game. This outing no exception. Busy day here at the high school. Track meet, basketball, softball, and it's my understanding music sometime this weekend.
Busy, busy, busy. A lot going on in busy Brunswick.
Facility which I understand is about 5 years old. Very nice complex here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a great spot to have an event like this, so I'm sure they'll be back.
Well, at least early in this one, the South is 2 better than the North team. Every 1 North point is turned into 2 South. Over it goes into the corner. Mays tried to get the putback. It is tipped out of bounds. And Mays did it. North will have it.
If this South team thought they were just going to run up and down and slack off, no. You hear Coach Price barking orders like he did all season long at Upson Lee. He expects the best from his team. Now, Coach Lockhart, he's more of a soft-spoken guy. Of course, played in the NBA, played at Auburn. But Price, with that military background and everything like that, I mean, he wants the best from his guys, and it all starts defensively. And that's how Upson Lee won, about like 74 straight games or so before their streak was finally snapped, won back-to-back state championships. It all started defensively, and he's trying to get the most out of his all-stars here today.
Cleveland gets into the paint, gets fouled.
Fouls on the South, 12. His first, team 4.
Christian Chambers picking up the foul. Cleveland, a Banks County product, played under Mike Cleveland.
His father, yes, a little father-son connection, coach's son, and boy, it must be nice to coach your son when he drops in buckets and buckets and buckets. A guy that scores a 3, great low post moves, just absolutely unguardable at times.
I've talked to a number of coaches' sons who played for their dad. They say it's very tough. I mean, that the coach typically is tougher on them than the average Joe.
Yeah, and when that's the case, sometimes after basketball, you got to be able to separate coach from father, and I'm sure they have breakfast together and all that, and don't even think about basketball. But sometimes you got to have a little bit of a separation.
1 miss, 2nd miss for Bird, tipped away, and the little 2-handed jam by Youngblood.
Youngblood off to a hot start, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Had a great season at East Coweta, really took that team to the next level. It was a real shame that everyone got hurt. They were sitting at 24-1 at one point, and then they finished the season 24-4, slipped to the 4 seed. Then they have to play McEachin in the first round and get run out of the gym with 2 starting members of their backcourt not able to play. But it was a heck of a year for that East Coweta team.
At the end of the game, the MVP is selected, comes from the winning team, and we've got a good in with the party responsible for naming the MVP, so we're going to know a little ahead of time.
Yeah, put some money on that if you want to. If there's some sites out there that's saying who are the odds to win these MVPs, I think I know a little bit before everyone else does.
Inside 10 minutes to play, half number 1. And I would assume that the fact that you got some additional minutes really means nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing in regards to the players. I mean, they can handle, and plus they're putting so many people in and out. I guess if you've got 5 that you're playing, the additional time might matter, but when you got a full roster, it's not a problem.
Yeah, everything's pretty even here. Everyone's going to get some good burn and have plenty of opportunities to really show what they can do out there. And we saw Jaquavian Florence knock down a 3. He was the Region 6 Player of the Year this year. And another guy I saw over there at Alexander on a play date in the summer, a guy that didn't play a huge role the previous season but really stepped up big time. You see another one right there, a guy that averaged over 20 points per game. And I don't know, he could end up being a Division I guy. I would not be surprised to see some low major schools start knocking on his door because he's a great athlete, and you can already see with 3 3-pointers he can shoot the ball.
As you have scanned the crowd today, have you seen guys from colleges giving these people a look?
Let me see here. You know, I'm been running up and down. I see tons of high school coaches here, so there might be a couple college coaches sneaking around here, but if not, I know they're watching at home.
Yep.
So many guys that you need to put on your target list from the high major schools to the Division II level. A lot of great talent as you see a high major option right there. Jordan Mecca with a nice running skyhook.
Almost stolen away by Gibson. Well, you mentioned the coaches. Aaron Parr, head coach of the North team. The assistant coaches, Jonathan Mosley and Benji Wood. Your coach for the South, Darryl Lockhart. And Michael and Price and Martin Veal are the assistants. Well, the original design by Gibson was to launch it to the other end of the floor and got blocked.
Watch out.
And it is laid in.
Good defense from Florence right there not to allow him to really tear down the house, but 2 points is 2 points. Kirby's a phenomenal athlete.
Loose ball gets out of bounds. The officials have to sort out who touched it last, and they say it was the South team. North will have it. Brought in for the far sidelines by Jabari Smith.
And Smith, he was named the most improved player in Class 7A this year. Now he transferred over from the Class A private level, and over there at Collins Hill, he was really given the reins and averaged over 20 points per game and really showed that he could score the ball.
Plans were for the alley-oop, but Dwan Odom couldn't keep his hands on a toss that was a little tall for him.
We're seeing a good flow to this game. A lot of points being scored, but the defense has still been pretty solid. I think, you know, everyone, you see Odom trying to fight over top that screen. Defense has been good, but just some, you know, as we say, has been some really good offensive moves as well.
Easy lay-in on the other end of the floor by Odom. Fed to the other side of the floor. That little jitterbug step got a walk call on Mann.
And Mann is a highly regarded prospect, transferred over from Eagles Landing Christian Academy to Stars Mill this past season. Stars Mill did not have a very good season considering what Brandon Hutchins did, taking that team to their best 2 finishes in school history. Then he gets asked to leave and goes to Habersham Central. Now he's resurfaced at Forsyth Central. But Mann is he gets the most of his offense. He's really good around the rim. He's an explosive, about 6'5", good in the paint. But a lot of people are trying to say he's more of a wing at the next level. And, I mean, he's going to have to really shore up his outside shot, which has gotten better. But outside shooting and his ability to attack off the dribble and just ball handle in general, he's going to really have to continue to make strides with that if he's going to be a wing at the next level.
Odom from St. Francis. Well, the lead was double digits not long ago, but as we mentioned then, don't focus too much on the score. It will change, and it has. And all of a sudden, a one-possession game.
See, you talked about it earlier, being able to play out of position and show off what you can do. We see Mann bringing up the ball. This is great experience for him to show that he can, break pressure and initiate an offense.
3 dips in and out. into the corner, trying to save it onto the floor was Kirby, but stepped out of bounds, and it will belong to the North. Well, there's Odom again. I think we're going to be calling his name often.
Yeah, not bad. And he took over in that fourth quarter. I think he had maybe 17 of his 28 points in the state championship game to beat Elka. He was great down the stretch.
Three-pointer.
Yes.
Counted for Florence.
Speaking of great, that's his fourth three already. Jaquavian Florence. He is locked in from deep.
Trying to respond with the three of his own was Mann. Instead, North's got it. Well, there's more points for the guy that's got 4 threes. Florence adds a 2. In traffic, tucked it in, and then laid it in. Kirby. Well, it looks like they've gotten a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
And they're working up and down the floor.
Racing up and down. Just got to make sure it's good shots. Doesn't get too sloppy. It can tend to happen at times when you're going 100 miles per hour. I'm sure they'll kind of slow it down a little bit and try to run at least a set, get a couple passes before jacking one up.
.522 left in half one. A 34-32 North lead over the South. Here on the campus of Brunswick High School, Cleveland. Gave it over to Frederick. Back into the paint, Cleveland. Spin move, shot up, got fouled. And Cleveland will shoot.
It's a real throwback down low, crafty with those ball fakes, spin moves, drop steps, got a hook shot. He's got a lot to choose from in his repertoire down on the low block.
Carl Cleveland, is he more comfortable or less so not playing under his dad today?
I don't know. I'm sure he's feeling real free, especially in the All-Star game where the objective is to score as many points as possible, and he knows how to put the ball in the basket, so I'm sure he's fine either way.
Couple of tries for Mays. Couldn't get it to fall in. Rebounded by Bird. That is Neville off on the three-point try. Bird's got it from the elbow. Puts it in. Off the glass over Cleveland.
A tough finish, Chris Youngblood. Nice kiss off the glass.
Bird trying the three. Mays coming up with a rebound. In the paint, there's a push from the backside by Neville.
Yeah, and you see a well-built guard in Youngblood, about 6'3", 6'4", trying to post up Neville down low, able to score at all three levels. Very versatile guard.
Out front to Mays, shoots the three, a little bit strong. Kicked over to Neville, tries the three on the north end, no good, grabbed by Youngblood. Chambers for three. And that is going to prompt a South timeout. Inside, 4 minutes to play. Here in half number one, looks like it's the 30-second break, so we will take the half minute as well. Just about all white, Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Well, as is always the case, you can't do things without folks that make it possible. And one of the folks that make this coverage possible, Georgia Army National Guard. Thanks so much If they didn't support, then might not have people in a hotel on Friday night and getting to enjoy all the additional festivities outside of the game. Cleveland with a miss. Chambers on the other end of the floor. Youngblood trying to get the putback. Instead, Frederick will take it the other way. Knotted up at 37. Cleveland laid it in, got fouled as well. Carl Cleveland will shoot.
Just got a nose for putting the ball in the basket, and he's up to, looks like 2, 4, 6 points. So off to a really good start already.
But now am I assuming that still our leading scorer in this one is Florence?
It must be, yeah. He's got, what, 14 points? He's done a heck of a job. And, hey, 3-pointers are worth more than 2-pointers. And when you hit a lot of threes, you got a good chance to get those point totals up really quickly.
Neville bringing it out of the corner. Frederick asking for a Cleveland screen. Goes to the right side. Takes it to the glass. Got it off the rim and window, but no good. Youngblood on the other end. Dropped it in.
Kershawn Thrash, he has not scored yet, but as he always does, he's just a stat sheet stuff for 0 points, but 5 rebounds, 3 assists already. Just does a lot of good stuff out there on the floor. He's from Eagles Landing.
Chambers after the steal, the score.
And he had a really good year to put Evans back on the map, a program that was, you know, middling in mediocrity, but Evans was very good this year. Didn't take a great run in the state tournament, but to win 20-plus games, that's a major accomplishment, and Mr. Chambers was a big reason why.
Caleb Bird giving the lead back to the North. North with it again. Bird with it again. Does the spin move at midcourt. Picks up the dribble at the elbow. A little shove there, but no whistle. They won't let everything go, but a lot more. Wright gave it to Cleveland, and Cleveland will shoot the 3. Just a little bit short. Mays with a miss, or was that Mays? Nope, that is Kirby, I think. No, it is Mays.
Yeah, they got those two-tone, interesting pants there. Washington County, a team that always puts together a really good regular season, but they haven't been able to get over the hump in the state tournament. I think they lost to Laney this year, I want to say, and this was not Laney's strongest team in recent memory, so missed opportunity, but always a really strong program in Middle Georgia.
Bird sending it over to Frederick. That is a 3, but a miss anyway. But Frederick able to steal it right back. Hands it over to Cleveland in the paint, off the glass, no good. Mays with the bomb. Bird the pull up from the elbow. Mays coming down with the rebound. Wide open with the 3 effort, but it won't drop in. South with a 3-point lead. And let's see what Mays does with this one. Well, I thought he might jam it, but he decides the 2 is better than a possible miss on the jam and just rolled it over the rim.
Couple sloppy possessions for this North squad. Got to get a good look. I know they're really trying to feature Cleveland here on the low block, and let's see what he can pull out here.
Into the paint, able to put it up and in. Jumper from the top of the key. And it's Chambers with a miss. Bird's got it on the other end, gives it over to the other side of the lane, and Wright will lay it in. Air ball as the buzzer sounds to end the half. Youngblood trying to expand the lead a little more comfortable. It will remain at 1. South leading it 47-46. It is halftime.
Look out, he could be gone.
Pounding away from the surgeon throw, and that got him. She's been the head coach, so she's done her part of the season series. And Robinson will get some much-deserved high fives over on the bench.
She earned those. That was a great hit. Right here.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
It is halftime of the GACA All-Star Game. Junior boys, we have the South squad up 47-46, but we have another living legend here to interview. Joe Dix, a man of the people, been well-traveled, was a legend in East Hall. Now he's building that legacy over there in Gwinnett County. Coach, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well, doing well.
So talk to me. You were the mayor of Rabbittown. And now, just finished up your first year over there at Collins Hill. How was that process for you, just, a different environment with different people?
Well, we enjoyed it. Didn't win as many games as we wanted to. It's a process we're building. But I've enjoyed the move. It's been a good restart. And we're looking forward to continuing to build it.
And you got one of your building blocks out there today. Jabari Smith had a great year under you. What did you see from him and, just his overall progression as a player?
Well, he got better and better as the year went on. I think he led the county in scoring or was right there. I know he led our region in scoring and had a great year for us. We add a couple of pieces around him, a couple of guys that are with us that are going to be a year older. One of them a freshman who really played well for us and had a young man sitting out this year. that played on the JV team that we think can be a major contributor next year. So hopefully we'll continue to get better around him, but he's getting a lot of Division I looks right now, and he plays within the game is what I love about him. So, but he had some great moments for us this year.
And you're a man that has won many, many games. What would you say is your coaching philosophy? I know you're a good watch on the sidelines. You can be a little animated and keep things interesting. You get a lot of people in the gymnasium. But what is the tactic? What is the key to your success and that longevity you've had?
Just trying to put guys in the position to make plays. Just by nature, I'm a up-tempo coach, so we want to play fast, and how much pressing we do kind of depends on our personnel, but we do want to play fast, and it's been good to us. We had some success at times this year, but our biggest issue moving forward is going to be how much better we are finishing, particularly at the end of games.
And how do you get to that level? I know going from a good team to a great team is, sometimes just learning how to win those close games. And as a young team, you got to take your lumps. But do you think your team's ready to really take that next step and, like you said, start closing out some of these tight ones?
Well, I think so. We blew about 6 games where we led about 15 or more in the game. So, the bad part about that is once you do that a few times and it kind of creeps into your head whenever those situations arise. And, there were probably some games we left out there, and but we're neither here nor there. We got to move forward, and hopefully we learned from it. I think we did, but we won't know that until next year probably.
And talk about the GACA. You've been affiliated with these guys for a while now. Just what is your role, and what do you think about the overall organization? Because I think it's been great for the state of Georgia.
Well, I'm the state basketball chairman, and I think this is my 4th year. What we've tried to do is we just try to connect with the coaches. Their membership includes obviously opportunities like this to have your kids play in these games, but also $2 million worth of liability insurance for the coaches in their school situations. So a lot of things go with it, but it's also an opportunity for us to connect with one another. And I've seen some great players play in this game over the years. I was telling the story about to the guys about seeing Colin Sexton a few years ago when he was a junior, and he scored 55 points in this game actually. And there's been some great players. Jeremy Lamb, I remember him kind of having a great game here as a senior and then going on to UConn and help lead them to a national. So we've seen some good ones come through here.
Yeah, you heard it here first. NBA pros, they start here at the GACA All-Star Game. Coach Dix, thank you so much for coming. You're a living legend. You're the man. And I wish you nothing but success. Excited to see what you can do over there at Collins Hill.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for all you do for high school basketball in the state of Georgia, man. You're awesome.
Thank you, sir. Sir, appreciate it.
All right.
We have 1:35 left before the opening possession of the second half. 47-46, as we have seen in our first two. Now this is our 3rd game of the day. The South has been able to take a lead and try to hold on to it. Just a 1-point lead so far. The South has been paced by Chris Youngblood over there from East Coweta. He's got 13 points. 6 rebounds. Christian Chambers over from Evans over there in the Augusta area. 10 points, 8 rebounds. He's been very solid. Kershawn Thrash has not scored, but 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's been facilitating. Jaquez Kirby and Bernard Pilote, both from Region 2 and Class 2A. Both those guys with 6 points. And running down the North statistics, Jaquavian Florence hit 4 threes to open up and then hit a layup, so he's got 14 points to lead all scorers from South Atlanta. Dwan Odom, the Xavier commit, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, really the catalyst for this North team, especially in transition. And then Carl Cleveland, a man who knows how to put the ball in the basket. We've been talking about it all day. Had 55 points to end his junior campaign and a loss to Callaway in the state playoffs. He's got 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal. So looking forward to another terrific half of basketball. Should be going down to the wire. North versus South. Let's see who can pull it out. Should be a fun one.
Well, 1 point separates the two, and the one thing that today has taught us, as I mentioned earlier, big leads are irrelevant. There was a double-digit lead, not that early into, or not that late into the game. It was actually fairly early into the game for the South squad, but it's gone. It's a 1 point game, and the team that's behind by one's got possession of the basketball to begin the second half.
Yeah, tight scoring like this, I think everyone's competing at a very high level, but really forces you to continue to play hard when it's not a blowout.
That is Bird with a miss on the 3-point try.
Ooh.
And it got up into the air. Kirby was trying to get it back to the other side of the floor while he was in the air. You can't fault the effort.
Yeah, a little too excited there, and Griffin was not established in the front court just yet, so that was a good call on the turnover. And that travel, I don't know if that was a good call. I mean, Dwan Odom thought he had the and one, but we're going the other way. There's been a couple travel calls, more so in the second half of the senior girls game. Other than that, I think the officiating has been just fine in the all-star game setting, but a couple players not pleased at times.
I noticed the officials were awarded plaques before the game got underway. This is something you could put on the trophy shelf on the wall in the office.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think referees get too many trophies. I mean, their plaques are usually getting screamed at and ran out of the gym by angry parents, but it's nice to get them some recognition at times.
No, nobody yells at officials, do they?
No, we have not heard any of that today.
The official has never lost a game for a team. You know how that is.
We got an injury. Carl Cleveland coming up, gimpy, limpy. Looks like an ankle or so. Hopefully he is okay. We saw a little bit of an injury earlier to Cristobal Azuma in our juniors game. In the second half, did not return. Hopefully she's okay. She had ice on her knee, and now it looks like Carl Cleveland is getting attended to on the sideline.
Did you get an update on that injury to the lady in the juniors game?
No, I mean, they're going to go get an MRI. That's the last I heard, so hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's just a little sprain, but it was her right knee, I believe.
Could the ball sit on the rim any longer without falling one way or the other? Youngblood sat there on the front of the rim. (51-48) advantage. South with the lead as it is put in play to Gibson and handed back over to Odom. Gibson from the top of the key, short on the three. Byrne will get the rebound. Goes into the paint, and that's where Kirby says nothing doing, but there is a foul.
Yeah, it looked like a foul on the body there, but you see the athleticism of Kirby getting up to swat that shot. He is a great talent, and so is Caleb Bird at the line. Just a professional scorer. Didn't get that one dropped, but he's got 6 points, and I got that really, easily average over 20, 25 points per game this year, and really made Rome a tough out in that Class 5A.
Well, let's do what we have been doing at this point in the game, and that is getting an idea as to who the front runners are on both sides for the MVP.
Chris Youngblood off to a really good start for the South team. We see him breaking down the defense right here. Unable to hit, but, I mean, padding the stats, he's up to 15 points and 7 rebounds, so he's a good option. Christian Chambers has been very strong as well for the South team. And on the North, I mean, I think it all starts with Dwan Odom. He's been very good, and Carl Cleveland has scored a lot as well.
The lay-in by Chambers makes it a 55-49 game. South did this in the first half, though. They jumped out in front by double digits, only to see the North come back, take a lead, then lose it just prior to halftime, but only by 1.
Fouls on the South. Number 3, his first, team second.
North to bring it in for the baseline. Odom to do the chores. Changes for both the North and South. course, the North in the colored jerseys, the visiting squad.
Crafty play right there. Dwan Odom throwing it off the back of Jacquez Kirby and getting the assist to himself. I might have to tag it as an assist. I got to give him the stat there.
So an assist and score. That's kind of unusual.
Yeah, that's padding your stats right there. You get an assist to yourself. That's not bad at all.
Here's somebody that's got quite a few points coming onto the floor, and that is Jaquavian Florence.
See if he can maintain that sharp shooting from the outside. 4 threes in the first half. He's a floor stretcher, and if he gets hot, he's really tough to slow down because that's going to open up some driving lanes for him.
Fouls on the North, number 1. His second.
Foul on the reach. One more game to go in our Saturday quadruple header. That'll be the senior guys slated for a 5 o'clock start. And barring something we don't anticipate, unless, of course, this one went double or triple OT, we should get that one underway on time around 5 o'clock this afternoon. Odom with a miss. It is rebounded by Thrash. Left side of the hoop, able to lay it in despite the defensive efforts by a couple of guys.
I think that's one of the toughest finishes we've seen all day. I mean, with the left hand floating it over, a guy like Jordan Mecca, one of the best shot blockers in Georgia, that was tough. That was very impressive.
Odom from the top of the key, short on the 3, rolls into the corner, and then Florence gets it and puts it in.
5 threes now, right on cue. Get hot, stay hot. He has been really good today.
Youngblood the miss. Reaching in, trying to take it away was Kirby, but he was called with a foul.
We have not seen too many spectacular breakaway dunks. And you got to give credit to the defense. Everyone's hustling back, no easy buckets. This game has been very competitive and played at a very high level, very impressive. Even though it's an all-star game, everyone competing.
Well, as a matter of fact, we haven't seen that many dunks, period, but certainly none that would be classified spectacular. Of course, listen, if I could ever dunk it, it would be spectacular.
Oh, I know. You and me both. I know. I'm just happy to roll that ball over the front of the rim.
Odom trying to make it a 2-point game. He will, and then come to the sidelines. Thrash sends it into the corner. Mays sends it to the hoop. Short on the 3. Put back is rejected. Mays has got it. Sends it outside of the arc. And that is Pallone. Foul underneath on the push. North will have it.
Fouls on the South, number 23. His first, team third.
Loose ball on the floor, picked up by the South. Mays was the intended target, able to take it away was Wright. And then Mays fouled Wright.
Fouls on the South, number 11. His first.
Well, we got to let the folks know how they can keep up with Kyle Sandy. I know you go to KyleSpiel.com.
Right. Kyle Sandy 355 on Twitter, SandySpiel.com as well. Find that on Facebook, find that on Twitter, and another 3. That is 6 now for Jaquavian Florence, but SandySpiel.com. Try to cover a state of high school basketball year-round. Too much good basketball all over the state not to be covered properly. That's why I'm here right now. I give great thanks to the GACA for believing in me and my knowledge to help these broadcasts move along. But there's a lot of good basketball, boys and girls, and it's just a lot of fun to try and track it down and cover it and help these kids get a little bit of exposure that some of them may need. A lot of them probably don't need it because they're great blue chip players, but it's just really fun to try and track all throughout the year, whether it be player rankings, team rankings throughout the state, transfer lists, which is always controversial, coaching carousel changes, just everything you can want and more over there at sandyspill.com. It is a real full-time job for me.
So it is basketball only, or do you occasionally delve into the other prep sports?
Oh, it is basketball only. I know where my bread is buttered. I try to, be a specialist and just know what I'm talking about, study basketball year-round. I'm not getting into girls lacrosse anytime soon. I'm sorry, folks.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm sorry. Maybe cricket, but I don't think so on that either.
Missed by Neville. Whipped over to Mays, and Neville kept it from being maybe a spectacular something from Mays, but still got the 2.
Thrash is really good passing. I'm a fan of his game. I don't know where he's going to end up at. I could see, some Division I schools checking in on him because he's got that college-ready body, but he's a really good passer. He rebounds well. Be interested to see can he shoot the ball from the outside well enough. But he's a really good player, got a great floor game, and he was a big key to Eagles Landing's success this season.
Right with a 3-point try, Neville grabbed it. There is a whistle. There is a foul. And it's going to be on Neville. Neville shoved aside Youngblood in an effort to retrieve the basketball.
Team 6.
63-58 game, 13:40 left to play. Picking up the dribble, that is Chambers. And in the paint, Pelot.
He's had a really, really good game. He's looks strong. He's had some nice finishes around the rim. Started off really quickly, but showing again that he can score in the paint.
Florence able to save it into the hands of Wright. Wright with a miss on the perimeter, 2. Launched to the other end of the floor to Mays. Whips it into the paint. And there we get something of a semi-spectacular variety.
You see that great hustle on the replay, just running the floor as a big man gets rewarded. Great job.
High off the glass from Frederick. Drew the foul as well.
Fouls on South. Number 1, his first. Team 6.
(67-60) South lead. 12:40 to play.
Tough basket. Christian Chambers been very good. He's one of those best prospects in the CSRA. He's really showing out today.
Bird bringing it into the paint. Frederick picking up the loose ball. Frederick lays it in. And we've got a push down low.
Fouls on the South. Number 1, his second. Team 7.
So this time on the clock, 12-12. That's kind of been a turning point for a lot of these games we've seen so far. In the first game, it was hovering around 10 points, and North Junior girls were not able to make a proper push, and South put that one away. And in our last game, it was about 10, 12 points at this time, and we saw the North Senior girls really come on strong and ended up winning that game coming from behind. And again, we see it right here. We got the North boys down 6 now. Crucial moments here halfway through the second half.
By the way, if you missed the prior games, junior girls South win at 78-59. Senior girls It was a North victory, 81-78. Got a brief timeout in the action, which provides us a chance to say thanks to some folks. And I'll get the scoreboard off and the image up. These people make our coverage possible. Georgia Army National Guard, we appreciate the fact that not only do they protect, they provide for the opportunity to bring you GACA basketball. Also, the Atlanta Falcons Sports Turf, National Preps, Greenville Turf and Tractor, Wilson, Jostens, Athletic Field Supply Crossover, Coca-Cola, and, of course, the GACA, all making coverage possible this afternoon. (69-64) game. 2 minutes, 12 seconds left to play. Third game of the day, and one more to go. The senior guys coming up. It will roll over towards the wall of the floor, and that means it will belong to North. 69-64 with 11:55 left to play.
Good idea, tough shovel pass in traffic for Chambers, but the right idea, but not enough space to complete that pass.
Spin move in the paint, and there was contact from Jaden Dunham. Have we seen Dunham on the floor that often in this one? I don't recall.
He's played a little bit, yeah. He's been out there, but, you know, he's looking at no points, no rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. So he's been out there, hasn't really gotten a lot of shot attempts if he's even taken one yet. But he's been out there, he's been getting some good run, and he's been holding his own. And he's a hometown boy, so they got to represent Brunswick and get one of these guys on the roster. And it was Jaden Dunham, his lucky day to be selected.
Couple of drop-ins from the stripe to make it a 69-65 game.
Caleb Bird really hounding Chambers. It's supposed to be an all-star game, but the defense has been exceptional. Really nice pass inside Pelote to Kirby. And, you know, if you are on Twitter, you've seen a couple times Pelote has had some big-time slam dunks on Kirby during the regular season. You know, they try and make it go viral, dunking on the big-time prospect like Kirby. So, you know, it's nice to see these guys working together as a team. 2 6'6" forwards, very skilled, posing some problems for this North lineup. Nice, easy stroke from the foul line for Odom. Jump shooting and free throw shooting always has been a question, but I really think he's gotten better and better each and every year, and he's got one more before he goes to college, and he knocks down both free throws.
And a 4-point game, 11:20 to play in this one. Nobody is really able to grab a lead of any substance. The only double-digit advantage came in the first half when the South quickly got out in front by 10. As a matter of fact, they had looks as if they were going to make it a blowout, leading at 22-11 at one point very early, but the North came battling back, and it's been nip and tuck since.
Bernard Pelote, a three-pointer, just, boy, he's playing great right now, and that's a major stock-up performer. Good things, you hear good things about these guys, but playing in the small classifications, sometimes it takes seeing to be believing, sadly, and if you haven't seen him before, you're definitely a believer now.
Well, there was something that was intended to be spectacular, bounces away from the rim. Odom will lay it in. Chambers quickly to the other end of the floor and lays it in with the left hand.
Pace really quickening.
Kirby got the steal. And there's the jumper from Hayes. Florence has been relatively quiet, at least comparatively speaking, from one half to the other. Missed on the three there.
It's a 9-point game. It was just felt like almost a one-possession game, and now it's flirting with double digits. Just how quickly these two teams can put points on the board. I think we're going to be over 100 points. It's going to be close, but I think it's safe to say we'll see 100 points on the scoreboard.
22 away for the South team and 31 away for the North, if my really questionable math skills are correct.
Hey, I trust you. Numbers are hard, man. That's not my subject, but I think 22, that looks good to me.
Out of bounds. Got the fingertips of Smith before heading out. South will keep it. Well, if you're in the Brunswick area, say about 30 miles away, watching the coverage, you still got time to get here for the senior game. I'd say if you're outside of 30 miles, might not make it, at least for the start of the seniors. Well, maybe even an hour out. I don't know. We probably have about 20-some-odd minutes left in this one. Come here and check out the basketball, and I can just about promise you you're going to see somebody here today that you will see at a D1 major school in maybe a year, maybe a few more.
Very true. Very true. And this man right there, Dwan Odom, knocking down the three ball. He is a very good point guard, as good as it gets in the 2020 class in Georgia.
And any idea what school is looking at him?
He is committed to play.
He's committed.
Yep. He's committed to go to Xavier right now.
That's right. You mentioned that.
Yeah, he's a good one. He is a good one. We have a lot of great guards in the 2020 class, and there's a lot of big names that aren't here today. I'm sure they have other obligations, but gee whiz, we have some good ones here, some great ones across the state that aren't here.
What drew him to Xavier?
That's a good question. I think Jonas Hayes probably had a lot to do with that. Former Georgia Bulldog. He's a assistant coach over there, a very strong recruiter. And, just being comfortable with the coaching staff is always a really big key.
Nice thread of the needle and the lay-in. That is man. And all of a sudden, the biggest lead of the game belongs to the South with 8 minutes and 17 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that escalated quite quickly. 15 points, and North team behind the 8 ball.
Attention, please. The Georgia Athletic Coaches Association.
Just about all Wayne Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Well, we want to thank, since they did here, we will do the same. Recognize the people that are, again, making coverage possible. The people like Army National Guard and the Atlanta Falcons. Sports Turf, National Prep, Greenville Turf and Tractor Wilson, Jostens, Athletic Field Supply, Crossover, Coke, and the GACA. Eight minutes, 17 seconds left to play. It's a pretty nice lead at 15 for the South, but again, these are guys that know how to score and do it prolifically, so it's not a gimme the South's going to take this one to the house, but obviously there's a bit of a current advantage. Youngblood committing the foul. That means the bucket will count. There's the and one coming up.
Yeah, you got Dwan Odom on your team. You got a chance. He can really flip this game around in a hurry. But with Carl Cleveland, that stinks that he got hurt. I know he's been going through some growing pains with his knees and everything. So that's 8 points in the first half and 4 rebounds that we did not get to see in the second half. But this North team has more than enough firepower to get back in it quickly.
Lawrence coming up with a loose ball. Looking for a 6-3.
Didn't get that one to drop, but a big-time move with the step back to free yourself and get a clean look at it. He's been great today. He's among one of our leading scorers, 20 points. As you mentioned, he's been stroking it from deep. He's working on. He's got 6 threes already. Actually, he's hunting that 7th. Great performance from the South Atlanta Hornet.
I missed one of those threes.
Yeah, he hit so many. It just, they all blend in together.
Down goes the Youngblood. Fades, fires, short of the shot. Tipped around. Man saves it underneath the Youngblood, who banks it off the glass. Smith with a miss, Odom with a miss, Mann with a rebound. Stolen. Florence does it. Takes it to the glass and jams it in. Says the long-range shot's not the only thing in my game. Youngblood will drop it in on this end.
Yeah, Youngblood and Florence really been trading baskets, it feels like. Both having really exceptional games offensively.
Frederick with the miss. Another Florence steal over to Odom. How about this for a little razzle-dazzle?
Yeah, I'll give him another assist. That's 2 assists to himself on the day. Come on. Great effort.
Well, let's see if we can give you a little additional Odom. Yep, that was something I've never done.
No. Yeah, that's not bad. And 6:20 left on the clock, 91-78. Not completely out of it just yet. Looks like 13 points. They still got a shot. And again, Dwan Odom, if you want to ride the back of anybody, he's a great option. And that electrifying play on the fast break could give this team some momentum.
We've got a break in the action. 91-78 South. Back after this. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Perhaps got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Well, there's one lonely guy. I mean, he's not wanting to be on the sidelines, but the injury to Cleveland has forced him there.
Yeah, it doesn't look overly serious, probably precautionary. No need to risk it and run it out there. And again, we're just trying to have some fun. And looked good in his first half of play, 8 points, 4 rebounds, but a little injury to his lower body had him sidelined early on.
Man giving it to Chambers. And then back it goes out front. And it's Thrash with it, gives it to Mann. Mann with the three-point try. Youngblood trying to get it into the paint to a teammate, instead taken away. And then back by Youngblood, and he's able to drop it in. Well, he's a battler. He's a competitor.
Yeah, he's just really a great nose for the ball today. Just everything going right for him.
Kirby coming down with the rebound. And for the left side of the rim, it is dropped in by Thrash.
It's been impressive. He's been really impressive. He does not have the fanfare that a lot of these other guys have, but that body is going to translate to the next level. If the jump shot is there, that's going to make him even more attractive, but just his ability to rebound, to be able to, defend in multiple spots with that size and length. Man, he's working on what it looks like 6 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He knows how to really fill it up. Really interested to see how he does his senior year, because he's a really good player. Doesn't get talked about enough, but Kershawn Thrash really blossoming.
Frederick giving it to Florence. Just about 5 to play in this one. from the stripe. Frederick coming up with a loose ball, and the North will keep it. There is Wright with a jumper. Bird with a miss on the putback, got it back and lays it in.
He's done a nice job on the glass. 11 rebounds. Caleb Bird showing us more than just a scorer.
Off on the thrash 3. Florence with it. Threw it behind Frederick. Going to make a bold prediction. One of these two teams will hit 100.
Yes. I think it's very likely. I know defense has been fairly solid, but I don't know if South's not going to score 4 points over the next 4+ minutes.
Put in play to Thrash. What is it about the 100 mark, though? I mean, it's just kind of magical for a high school basketball player. Not just high school. I mean, a lot of the colleges, you like the 100 mark.
Breaks the scoreboard, and, I mean, the NBA, I mean, nowadays everyone's scoring 140 points per game, so it's not a big deal, but definitely college and especially high school, it is really special to see triple digits on that scoreboard.
Thrash gets this one away. Or 2 away, actually. I told you my math skills were suspect. Neville dropping in the 3. And there is 100.
There it is. That's a little too easy for 100.
183 points scored between the two teams with still 3.5 to go. Chambers with it, top of the key. Over to Youngblood. And Youngblood, I don't know, he may be trying to convince you that he is the solid odds-on favorite for the MVP if the South wins it.
Closing in on 30 points. He's putting them up.
Chambers with a miss. And able to put it back in is Kirby. Frederick in the paint. Youngblood reached in, trying to tip it away, committed the foul. Can you foul out of an all-star game? Well, I know you can't. But, I mean, can you foul out of a GACA all-star game?
I think it can happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but I think it is possible.
Didn't know if they gave you extra fouls or just kind of ignored that 6th one.
Yeah, I hope we don't need extra fouls. Come on, guys. Can't be grabbing and holding. But again, I thought the defense has been pretty solid at times. Not terrible, especially last year in the senior game. It really was just no defense being played. And, it remains to be seen. The seniors, especially the guys that are already signed, they have nothing left to really prove. But got a good bulk in this next game of hungry, unsigned guys. So I think that's going to lead to a tight game throughout and a lot of good effort on both sides of the ball.
20-point lead, 2 minutes, 46 seconds left to play. I know we think that any lead is not insurmountable, but I'm kind of thinking 20 at the 2:38 mark might be.
Yeah, and again, this is, the South team, Daryl Lockhart. I know it's an all-star game. It means nothing whatsoever, but Daryl Lockhart beats Aaron Parr's team again. A great rivalry, healthy rivalry between these two great programs, Upson Lee and St. Pius. But somehow, again, Lockhart gets the best of Coach Parr, one of the best coaches in the state of Georgia, the game within the game.
But he's not going to bring that up.
No.
Never.
This is just for fun out here and just happened to be the South team's day today.
Well, the South about to go 2-1. As on the ladies' side, you had a split. Thrown away by Kirby. So with 2:05 to play, North has got it back. One more game to go, slated for a tip at 5. Burn. That's a long 2. Almost stolen away by Gibson. Hayes getting it over to Thrash. Back over to Kirby. And then we'll feed underneath nicely to Dunham.
And the hometown hero gets his first points of the game. Very nice to see that.
Nice lay-in from Byrne. Over into the corner. Pelote with a miss. And it is off the fingertips. Okay, yeah. Neville's got it. I thought for a minute they were going to suggest it was off Neville as it was swatted away by Thrash, but it is Neville and company that have it with the give to Byrne. Byrne with a long three, the miss. Grabbed by Hayes. Well, I think it's safe to say it's going to be a South victory, so you know before any of us, I get to know second. Who is the MVP?
It's got to be Chris Youngblood, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. What a way to end his season with the East Coweta jersey on. He was great.
Sensational performance today to gain the MVP. We, of course, keep our coverage live through the presentation of the trophy. Gibson air ball on the three. 9 seconds remain in this one. Chambers. Well, it wasn't exactly how he wanted it, but he got it nonetheless. 111-92 your final score as the South has beaten the North to take the Junior All-Star event on the boys' side. And your All-Star MVP, Chris Youngblood, in a matter of moments, will receive that big piece of hardware that's set for the better part of the game over on the far sidelines, but now it is in the hands of the gentleman who's going to hand it over to a worthy Chris Youngblood, and that's a member of the Georgia National Guard. So Kyle Sandy making his way down to the court to participate in our post game. We'll just send it to the mid part of the floor as well. And that's where you see that National Guardsman. Got the MVP trophy. And pretty soon it's going to be handed to a guy on the South. He doesn't yet know who he is. We do. You do.
Our 2018.
And here you go with the official announcement.
Number 3,
Chris Youngblood is your MVP, and there he steps over to receive the trophy. And congratulations. Well, it is final. And it is a victory that belongs to the South by a final score of 111-92. Thanks so much for watching our coverage, the GACA basketball event from Brunswick High School. We got one more game to go, the senior event, a half hour from now. See you then. For Kyle Sandy, Robert Williamson, so long, everybody.